Lord knows there's enough disturbing news on a daily basis about Trump and the loony people he's got surrounding himself by. But and as they try to dismantle our history and try to denigrate people of color and women, let's talk about some of them for a few minutes, and so that we understand what they don't. Let's talk first, and I suppose most people know about this, but I think it's time we start looking at it and talking about positive contributions to this country instead of just the negative news we see all the time. Let's talk first about people of blacks or African American descent. We had in World War I, if you didn't know about it, they were called the Harlem Hellfighters. They served on the front lines in the trenches in World War I, and they had served 191 consecutive days on those front lines and were one of the most decorated units in the World War I. Before that, we'd had what were called the Buffalo Soldiers, who served throughout the West in the American Indian Wars that we had, and went on to serve with General Pershing and his advance into Mexico pre-World War I. Probably one of the most famous people that I hope you know about was a seaman on the USS West Virginia that was struck at Pearl Harbor. He was in the mess hall. His name was Doris Miller. He'd been he was born in Texas and was serving in the mess when the attack came. To make a long story short, he ended up manning, even though no training in it, anti-aircraft guns on the West Virginia, shooting at and helping to defend the West Virginia, notwithstanding no training. These are people that the history of which can never be forgotten, and we'll talk about more in other ways in the coming days. Then let's talk about women, and I first even myself sort of started to pay much more attention about this after seeing the movie and reading the book Hidden Figures, which were about three African American women, Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson, who were responsible for the most important calculations in the Apollo missions, and the Apollo astronauts trusted them more than they trusted the computers at the time. They made those missions successful. I suppose that Trump and his group want to erase them, but I want to mention another woman that if you haven't read about her, Anna Marie Rosenberg. The book is called The Confidant, and she became a special advisor to President Roosevelt. She was the first woman to go into the concentration camps. She was an emissary to Moscow during the war. After the war, she became a special advisor to Presidents Truman, President Eisenhower, and President Kennedy. And I also think, I'm not sure if she survived this long, but also I think President Nixon. She's probably one of the unsung heroes of this country, and she was appointed as Undersecretary of Defense by George Marshall, and when there was pressure on Marshall to get rid of her because, quote, she was a woman, Marshall absolutely refused and said she was invaluable to this country and probably one of its most important people. These are good stories, and they need to keep on coming, and I'll point out some more in the next coming days.